Welcome to Coach Chloe, the journey of self love. Today is episode 19 of the journey of self love. And we are in our series, How to Hack Your Thoughts, and we are in part 9. Today we have a very special guest, Gerard Pisano, who you'll meet in a moment. But I wanted to share this here. Today, I was thinking about something that people say a lot. And here's it. My mind is playing tricks on me. Have you ever thought about that, or have you ever said that? And when our mind plays tricks on us, it's when our thoughts and our perceptions actually becomes distorted. It can happen when we're tired, or when we're confused, when we're anxious, when we're under stress. It's like our own thoughts mislead us into believing that something is maybe inaccurate. And today somebody said something, and my mind went into a spiral. It just started going down this rabbit hole, and I had to quickly, I realized what's going on, and I had to stop it. And I'm thinking, wow, my mind playing tricks on me. I started believing something that was inaccurate. So I wanted to share that because next week, for our final episode, that's what we're going to be talking about, when our mind plays tricks on us. However, today in the studio, we have Gerard Pisano, someone very dear to me, someone in sales, someone who loves golf, someone who loves music, and someone who loves fun. So stay right there. We will be back in a moment. Welcome back. Today in the studio, we have Gerard Pisano. Gerard, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chloe. Thanks for having me.
Well, great to have you here. I have to tell everybody you are my golf partner, so I can't wait for you to share some of the tricks and some of the experiences that you have.
Well,
Um,
I hope I can bring some value to your podcast.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you will. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to hear what you have to say. Why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself to everybody? Let them know a little bit.
Okay. Thank you very much. Um, I've been in sales for 40 years. I've had a very long career in sales. I worked in the office furniture industry for that whole time. And now I actually own the business that I worked at for many years. I've taken ownership over it with a business partner over the last 10 years. And it's been very successful and very rewarding. Um, I'm a father of 24-year-old twin boys that are just embarking on their professional lives. I also happen to be an avid golfer and a big music lover.
Wonderful. So we can't wait to hear all the things that you will share. Let's get into the conversation, and we're talking about how to hack your thoughts. We hear that the term "silence is golden," or this, the phrase "silence is golden." So when silence is golden for you, what are you usually saying to yourself?
Well, I kind of uh, like to reflect on the good things that are happening in my life, appreciating the small and the big wins, thankful for family and loved ones, and I think about hope for the future and all of the good things that life has to offer.
Mhm. So, and again, that's when silence is golden. We also hear on the other side, when silence is deafening, what are you saying to yourself then?
Well, as you know, this is a challenge for me because I tend to uh, go into dark places in my mind sometimes. So that's part of my ongoing journey towards self improvement, and you have been helping me throughout that whole process because I do have a tendency to become pessimistic, and I have to work through those thoughts. And sometimes I'm my own worst critic, and I can get down on myself sometimes.
Mhm. So when negative thoughts go through your mind and there is noise, what's going on then?
Well, it's a lot of things going on, a lot of rattling around. I ask myself a lot of negative questions. You know, how and why did I allow something like this to happen to myself? Whether it's a business experience or a personal experience, and just tend to ask myself a lot of questions. The would have, should have, could have type questions, and it's just I have to break myself out of it sometimes because it's just not a good place to be. Um, People around me, my loved ones, don't like to see me in that space, and I have to work hard to not get there and work hard to get out of it.
Mhm. And how long when you are in that dark space where these thoughts, just negative thoughts, swirling in your mind, how long do you stay in that place?
Well, I've gotten a lot better um, about that, and I think that it's really only since they say with age comes wisdom, and I only learned recently, like the last 10 years, how to work my way through it, and I found diversions are good. So golf, is my happy place. It allows me to shut off any negative thoughts. I might reminisce back at a successful, happy round that I played, or might look forward to the future of another round of golf that might be upcoming that I'm really looking forward to.
Mhm.
And music, I do have the ability to get lost in music, all types of genres, and sometimes I'll go down a rabbit hole and see where iTunes takes me, and it's just fun. And it's funny because once you get there, you're not really thinking about any of your problems. You're just totally involved in the music, and it's just a wonderful thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I do know that you love YouTube as well, and you love
Yeah,
watching.
Instagram and YouTube videos, and I might be the only 65-year-old that gets a kick out of TikTok, but I find some of the videos hysterical, and I really love watching them, and just to shut my mind off, and that's all I use it for.
Yeah. So have you had, you're talking a lot about going into dark place, going into, I love what you said. There's a lot of thoughts rattling around. Great way to express that with negative thoughts. What about positive thoughts? Do you ever have positive thoughts, or I mean, is there a time where you had to hack a positive thought?
Yes, I do have the ability to positive thoughts, uh, hack positive thoughts. In business and in sales, uh, they say that you have to have the regimen of a soldier and the spirit of a gypsy. You have to, um, there's an old adage that states that don't celebrate until the customer signs on the dotted line, meaning that you could be working on some very big, nice opportunities, but you can't you can't say this is a lock or it's in the bank or book it, because anything can happen in sales. In 40 years, I've seen things that we were 100% certain that we were going to be bringing in the house, and somewhere it goes south. So sometimes, and I have to do that with the young salesmen in my office, and sometimes they might get a little overconfident, think that this one's a sure thing. And unfortunately, in sales, nothing's a sure thing. You have to earn everything that you get, and you need a little bit of luck sometimes, and you need a little bit of hope and a little bit of prayer, because that's what it takes.
hmm So how do you hack that with a positive thought if it's not serving you, if you're feeling
I
too
just try and get myself and the guys that work, people that work for us, to just keep everything in perspective. You just have to keep it real, because it's just like I said, you never know what can happen. So it might be just mulling over different scenarios. What are the what ifs on what could happen on the deal, and talk through it. And it helps you kind of ground you, and also talking through it also realizes, come to the realization that maybe there's something else that we could do, a different angle, a different approach. So it's also a good strategic tool as well when you try and break it down and keep it real.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that, keeping it real, because when we keep it real, we have a things are in perspective. We see it as it is. Um, so, uh, how does it serve you when you have to hack this positive thought?
Well, I think that um, just helps me realize that nothing should be taken for granted, and I think it sets expectations. Sometimes, a young salesperson that works for us, it could be devastating if they're working on their first big deal and it doesn't go their way. It takes a while to bounce back, and it happened to me when I was young in sales too. And I know that I always talk to you about this and tell you that sales, while it can be very rewarding and you're not sitting behind a desk all the time and you're out meeting people and you go out to lunch and you have drinks and you're on the golf course and you're going here and going there, but it also has some negatives to it, like that ups and downs, and trying to maintain an even keel throughout all of those ups and downs, and trying not to bring your problems home when you had a bad day. And I know everybody has that problem, to not bringing their problems home, but I don't know. I think it might be a little bit more pronounced in sales, because losses are a blow to the ego. They hurt. They take a while to get over. So that's why I've tried and worked hard at finding a balance that allows me to exist in sales, have a nice life, and also be successful in sales.
Hmm. Okay, that's really valuable to hear, and a lot of wisdom there with all the years that you've been in sales. So I'm sure there are a lot of sales people, or maybe young people, that are out there or listening to this podcast. What would you like to share with those salespeople that are probably experiencing what you were talking about right now?
Well, besides, trying your best to be successful in your field of sales, and that is doing all the hard things that come along with being in sales. That is getting out of your comfort zone, making uncomfortable phone calls, challenging yourself to make marketing phone calls, um, doing all of the things that are required that you need to do to be successful. It's like a formula in sales. You might make 50 phone calls a day, and you might only speak to two people. And then, so now at the end of that whole day, when you faced loads and tons of rejection, you have to now find a way to be a happy human being and feel good about yourself. So I've learned to find, as I've become more mature and more wise, that you have to find a passion, and it could be a hobby, a sport, an activity, music, uh, playing music, listening to music. You just have to find your happy place. That when you get to your happy place, and I know that that term's a little bit overused, but you have to find a way to get yourself there, because the world has become so overwhelming. Building a career is a challenge in this market today. I see a lot of the young people, my son for one, struggled to find a job. This is after being highly educated. So you have to find things that help you feel good about yourself, feel good about your life, um, turn off the outside noise, and get yourself into a space where you're calm and feeling good about yourself. And it really, really, really works wonders. And I wish that I would have known you a long time ago, and I wish that I would have had the ability to find this balance a long time ago, Chloe.
Yeah, yeah. Something that you said, there's a lot of rejections that they face in sales, and I'm gonna say that it just not happen. It doesn't only happen in sales, but in life we also face rejections in life. And something that you also said: find the things that make you feel good about yourself.
That's right. That's right. And it's really, really important. And I try and instill that in my sons, and I try and instill that in some of the young people that work for us when they might get down and have a loss and not be feeling too good about themselves.
Yeah. Also, something else that you said that was really powerful: turn off the outside noise. Turn
Right.
off that noise.
That's important, and then that is my challenge. I am my own worst enemy. When things are not going my way, I take it personally. I blame myself. I sometimes blame myself if my business has an off month. And but I can't. I know that that's unhealthy. I know that I can't continue to do that. That's not good for the people that work for us. It's not good for the loved ones that I'm surrounded by. So um, you can teach an old dog new tricks, and I think that I'm trying to be a living example of that.
hmm And I want to acknowledge your vulnerability for you to be able to say that, because that's the first step. Being able to say, yeah, I do blame myself. I do go into that place, and making an effort to turn off the outside noise, finding the good in yourself, finding your passions, like you've been talking about, whether that's golf, whether that's music. And I know you love fun. You're fun person to hang around. But finding that thing that makes us happy, that happy place. So there's a lot of people listening to this podcast right now. What would you like to share with them on how to hack their thoughts, especially when they are in a negative place or they are down on themselves? What can you share?
Um, I just think that it takes a conscientious effort. It's very easy to sit and stew in your misery. That's the easy way out. You have to challenge yourself to say that that's not a place where I belong. That's not a place where I want to be. That's not a place where the people that love me want me to be. And I owe the love my loved ones better and more than that. I owe my employees better and more than that. So as much of a challenge as it is, it's very rewarding if you actually take the necessary steps to hack your thoughts and actively work to get yourself in a better mindset, and you become a better person for it. You become a happier person for it. People like you more. And it's very rewarding.
Right. So, you talked about stewing in misery. I like that imagery right there. Stewing misery, that's not a place where we want to be. If
Nope.
you think about and the other place that we want to be in, what would you call that versus
when
stewing in misery?
when you say the other place, like a better place,
Yes, the better place versus stewing.
you want to try and get to a place of hope, optimism, growth, meeting the challenge, facing the day, uh, not looking backwards, always looking forwards.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a better place is hope, optimism, growth, meeting the challenge, facing the day. And it's a better day, it's a better life to have.
It
Um,
really is.
yeah. So thank you for sharing all of that. Is there a quote that comes to mind that you
Yes, you know, as I knew that I was going to do this from a couple of days ago. I uh, I said to you, "Why am I never on your podcast?" Just to lay a little guilt on you, and you actually took me up on the challenge. So now I had to come through for you, Chloe. So in my never-ending journey to overcome my weaknesses, um, and being pessimistic is my weakness, I have to say. I turn to the father of positive thinking, and that is the one and only Norman Vincent Peale. And I just have two very short quotes that I'd like to share with your audience. And they are: yesterday ended last night. Every day is a new beginning. Learn the skill of forgetting and move on. And secondly, Make sure you pay attention to what's right with your life, not just what's wrong.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Learn the skill of forgetting and move on. Being able to forget things that do cause us misery instead of stewing in that, and move
Yeah,
to that better place of hope and optimism and growth, meeting the challenge, facing the day, and making a conscious effort to do that because it's not easy.
it's
But
not.
yeah, but being able to say, you know what, I can do that. This is not, like you said, this is not a place I want to be. I do not want to be in the misery. I do not want to be in a dark place.
That's right.
Yeah. So it was great having you on the show, Gerard.
Thank
And
you. I really enjoyed it. I didn't realize how much I'd like it and how good I'd feel after it. So thank you for walking me through it. I hope that I did a good job, and I hope that your listeners enjoy it. And I'm really happy to be here.
thank you so much for being on the show. Right.
Thank
And
you.
like I always end our shows, your story is changing, and you are the storyteller of your story. Your story are your thoughts. Your thoughts are your self talk. And what you tell your brain is what your brain remembers. Right? Here's what really matters: who you are becoming is greater than who you were before this moment. So please go ahead and click like or drop in the chat ways that you hack your thoughts. Next week, we are in for a real treat. It is our first panel discussion to close out the series on how to hack your thoughts. So we have three terrific, outstanding, brilliant minds that's going to be our finale for the series. You don't want to miss it. So we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.